Janie Paraham is the coordinator of volunteers at the Museum of Science and History, or MoSH, in Memphis, Tennessee. You've worked here for more than 10 years.
I've worked here a little over 10 years, yes.
Well, thanks for being on Signature Required.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me a little bit about your role and what that means to the museum.
Well, I work with volunteers, interns. If we have a lot of corporations and companies like to do community service. And so all of that will go through the department that I'm in. I'm the supervisor of volunteers. And so when we have special events that we are going to have at the museum, I help to get all of the volunteers for things like that. And we also have what we call our active volunteers, and those are the volunteers that are with us on a daily basis. So I help to recruit volunteers, and I help to bring in interns and company groups, because without our volunteers, we would not be able to do 90% of the things that we do as a museum, as an educational facility. We wouldn't be able to do it, because not only do we have volunteers at the Pink Palace, we also have volunteers at Lichterman Nature Center and downtown at our Mallory Neely House. So I help to supervise the volunteers at all the spots.
Well, tell me about the Nature Center.
Lichterman Nature Center is 65 acres of just pristine wilderness in the middle of the city. It's on Quince Road, and we have a backyard wildlife center there. We have a plant propagation center. We are getting a new greenhouse, and we have 3 miles of hiking trails there, and we do a lot of educational programs there also. So we love to help people come in and hike the trails that we have there. And we have our volunteer plant sale, which is the largest fundraiser that we have at Lichterman. And that's another thing. Our volunteers work with that from start to finish. It is all volunteers who do that. And we have Jessie Munson, who is the coordinator of the greenhouse. And the volunteers under her help to bring a good 1,000 or more plants out.
I was going to say, what's involved in a plant sale? So are you selling bouquets? Are you selling potted plants?
No.
What is...
Everything, I'm going to say 99.9% of anything that we sell at the plant sale is a native plant. One thing we do there is we want to make sure that we are able to get native plants back out into the community, because then we bring native pollinators back in, which are your hummingbirds and your butterflies and your bees. And you want to keep as many of those pollinators in your area as you can. And one way to do that is to have plants that they will come to, like milkweed. Sounds like an awful plant, but it's really not. And we sell a ton of milkweed. So if anybody wants to get a milkweed for their area, you have to come early.
And they're planting it in their home gardens or around their businesses?
Yeah. We have people who literally come up every year, and they park their cars, and they will put 20, 30, 40 plants in there. And so our volunteers start from the time when we are sterilizing pots, because people are gracious enough in this area to donate pots to us, but you have to sterilize a pot before you use it for another plant. So volunteers sterilize the pots. They also help with seeding. They help with the weeding. They help with transplanting. We have a full, huge area in the back of the greenhouse that's nothing but plants that we're starting from scratch. And then we have a huge greenhouse. We're the only place in Memphis that specializes in native plants. So, other places have plant sales, and they're good plant sales, but we specialize in native plants.
But you're the OG. You know how to do the native Memphis.
We know. If you want milkweed, come to us.
We know where to get it.
You know where to get it.
You know what you're doing. So you mentioned 3 different spots. Here at the Pink Palace, your nature...
Lichterman Nature Center.
And then what was the third?
The other one is our Mallory Neely House, and we have the McGabney House. Those are our historic properties, and they're on Adams Street downtown. Right now, Mallory Neely is open on Fridays and Saturdays, and we have guided tours there. And they start at 10:30, and they go to 3:30. We have our volunteers there, very dedicated volunteers who know everything about the homes and the families that lived in those homes, and they will give you wonderful guided tours and just give you all the little details and secrets about the families
How
in the
do you
home.
find these unicorn volunteers, right? Because every nonprofit is looking for people that care about what they care about, that want to give their time and give back to the community. And this is really detailed stuff.
Well, and it is detailed because when you volunteer at, say, the Mallory Neely House, you go through quite a bit of training because you have to learn the history of the house. You have to learn the proper way to take the people through the house because we have a lot of artifacts that we want people to look at, but we don't want them to touch.
Beware if my children come through.
Right.
You'd have patent fingerprints on every surface.
And so a lot of times, the best way to get a really good volunteer is to have one of your dedicated volunteers recommend somebody. Sure. That's one of the best ways to do it. We also have information on our website about the different spots that we have, and we also give information about what you will do in those spots. And then I go out to different organizations and I speak about, volunteering with us. And a lot of times people who are new to, we get a lot of people from the Millington Naval Base because some of them have to have so many community service hours. And then we also get a lot of college students and high school students who are passionate about history or science or botany or animals, and they want to come to us. And then the really great thing is when we have retired people, retired professionals who want to come in and share their knowledge, like you were talking about Jenny. And then we also have Monty, who's retired, but he is a rock hound. He can tell you anything and everything. He's a wonderful volunteer. Then we have some volunteers but in our Civil War area who actually dress in costume. One week he's a Confederate soldier, the next week he's a Union soldier. And it's just a lot of it is word of mouth, and then a lot of it is through advertising. We also use United Way, and we use Volunteer of the Mid-South, Volunteer Odyssey, and we're linked into University of Memphis, Rhodes, Christian Brothers, Lemoyne College, and things like that. So
Well, it sounds like you know what you're doing around here.
it's fun.
Okay, Janie, we play a game with all of our guests, a fill in the blank game. So
Okay.
I'm going to read a sentence and leave a blank, and I just want you to fill in the blank.
Okay.
Museums play a vital role in communities by blank.
Museums play a vital role in the community by presenting the history of your area, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
And the narwhal, too.
And the narwhal, too.
There you go.
Because if you're going to be a museum, and if you're going to talk about the history of your area, you need to talk about the whole history. And you need to make sure that your community is represented. Everybody's represented in your community. And I think we do that here. I think we do a pretty good job of that here.
From what I've seen, you do absolutely do a great job of that. I really appreciate getting to talk to people that are passionate about what they do and believe in it. So thank you so much for spending time with us today. This was a blast. Thank you.